Do you need encouragement to turn tragedies into your own triumphant life story? If so, this podcast is for you. Listen to powerful guests who have persevered through challenges so you can gain strength to build your championship life. The host of Professor of Perseverance podcast, Dr. James Perdue.
Hey, it's going to get started here. Let's get a little bit of motivation, inspiration. Let's grab a little gold nugget, something you can use for your next trial and tribulation, hardship, difficulty. You know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going. All right. But grab a little gold nugget. You don't have to give everything on every podcast, but something that you can use to get you through your next issue. And big thing here, pay it forward. All right. Today, our guest is going to be Pansy Sleep. What the last name? Sleep. Hey, what's up, Sleep? Yeah, you tired, Sleep? Oh, all right. So I'm messing with you. So, all right, Pansy, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And you're going to tell about an issue, and she called me. She corrected me a while ago, and I'm glad she did. Okay, that and this is a problem. It's going on in our country, and I'm sure around the world. Prescription drugs. And she had a little overdose issue. Okay. And she made it through. Right there she is. All right. We're glad you made it through. So, all right, Pansy, what we're going to do is hand it over to you. You put us at the beginning where you think we need to be, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, the prescription drugs, that's not even the part that really was the worst part of my story.
Okay.
I mean, life has not been easy. Majority. From the age of 15, I was pretty much homeless, kind of. You know, my mom, I was living with my dad. My dad passed away and tried to go back to live with my mom. And instead, she kicked my butt. We'll just say that. And I then was living with friends, which I'm so blessed that I had friends that were family to me, and they helped take care of myself and my sister many times because my mom was over the road truck driver. But that's, so life just kind of continued to.
Isn't it kind of weird, Pansy, when you just mentioned that? It's kind of weird. We're all going to go through something in life. I don't care who you are. But isn't it strange, and I'm in your boat with you, that it seems like some of us get hit with more than anybody ever in a lifetime. We've been through 3 lifetimes of crap, and everybody else is barely getting half a life. And isn't it amazing that somehow, some of it's brought on ourselves.
Yes.
A lot of it, though, is thrown in because of life. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, some of it's brought on by us. But still, it's amazing how does some people skeet through with the littlest amount of the rocking in the boat, and other people were throwing water out to keep the boat alive, up and rowing, and it's amazing. I can't answer that.
Yeah, I can't answer that, why one person goes through more than another person.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, but I know there's people that have been through more. I've listened to those people. I've been through, I have many people that reach out to me because I am a good listener. And because I have been through so much, I tend to not judge because I've seen and been through so much. I know that there are many reasons why things happen, right? And like you said before, some are things we can control, some things not so much. And how we choose to deal with those things. I didn't always deal with everything the best way.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, especially when you're young, and like you said, your mom kicking you, whether it's out physically, whatever, being young, you're going to handle it a lot different than when you're 35.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
would think, you hope that you've grown and matured and learned as you got older. You would hope that you would handle it different. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
So younger, it's hard to deal with it. I hate to say the right way or proper way, because we're younger. We're handling it the best way we can. We think.
Yeah, with the knowledge you have, right? That I think that's
Yeah.
every person is doing, for the most part. I believe most of us are doing the best we can with the
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and the resources that we have. And, I always looked for resources. I always looked for people that could help me um, as much as possible. I did find people. There were several times, many people, strangers more than anything, have helped more than
Mm-hmm.
family. You know, and I mean, there's times when I'm upset with my family because they didn't help as much, and there's other times that I realize there's a reason I had to go through everything, right? Some of us have to go through more than others because we have that story that's gonna possibly help someone else, right?
Or we
Um,
didn't learn our lesson the first time,
or yeah, or
or
we
the
didn't learn
second
our
time,
lesson, or the
or the
second
third
time.
time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, that happens,
it does. Yep.
So, and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also had many awesome things that happened
Mm-hmm.
to me throughout life. And I try to look at those more than I do anything bad that's happened, or look at the things that other people might think is bad as a good thing. Like, yeah, my mom did that, but then I became more independent. I mean, I was already fairly independent, but even more independent. I started to, I built a family at a young age. I owned a home at a young age. I also lost the home at a young age, you know, um,
Uh-huh.
and, moved on from that partner that didn't work, right? And eventually found another partner that also didn't work, also had a
It
home,
happens like that.
So yes, we make the same mistakes more than once. I can't say it's a complete mistake because I got beautiful children out of each relationship.
That's powerful for you to say that maybe the relationship wasn't the greatest, but to get two beautiful children, to bring in this world and to share what you got to make them strong adults. Okay. Now, for what you're saying, that's powerful right
Yeah.
there. A lot of people don't want to admit that because that's still giving in to the other person,
Yeah.
and a lot of people won't say that. So for you to say that, that is powerful.
Well, I'll have to say the partners I chose them for a reason. They're they're good people at heart, true at heart, but
Hmm.
they had issues, their own addictions type of
Yep.
thing.
Yep. Yep.
And growing up around addiction, I felt that, oh, they'll get out of it, right? I can be there for them. I can
That's
help
right.
them. I can, we can build a normal, regular life. And it just didn't turn out that way. And I don't necessarily hate them for that. We all have our own life to live, right?
Well,
Which,
we all carry our own little demons.
yeah. I mean,
So
eventually it led me to my husband, which we're now getting a divorce, but it was 20 years. We were together
yeah,
for 20 years. And then I had two more children. And together we raised our children. And, you know, there was a lot of bumps in the road and whatnot. And um, that's where it led, where you thought that I was speaking of suicide.
that's and we met for the listeners. We're both in a speaking contest, and
Yes.
we're both into this. And our first round was our 2-minute version of ourselves. And I
Yeah.
heard her story, and somehow I missed the opening, but prescription drugs. But I got to move on, and she didn't quite. but they did a wild card thing and second chance, and she entered to that. And now she's popped in there to the other side with us to move on to this second round. So I'm glad that happened for you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened for you because you got a powerful story. You need to get it on out there.
Yeah. So let me talk about that. So most of my life, even with all of the other things, I struggled with different health issues from a very young age and so started taking over the counter and prescription medications, which by the time I was in my mid 40s, I want to
Mm-hmm.
say it was, because I'm 50 now. I was on all of these different medications for allergies, stomach issue. I mean, I can go on headaches. I've had migraine headaches most of my life. I still get them, not as often, but still do. You know, just so like rheumatoid arthritis, I've been told all of this. And they had me on just all of these different medications. And I just didn't feel like I was even like they were working.
Mm-hmm.
And I hung out with my grandparents a lot growing up, and they would give us little like home remedy things and stuff like that. And I'm like, what types of things did people used to do for all of these different ailments? Because I know it wasn't all of these prescriptions. And how safe, like I read these prescriptions, and none of them sounded safe or helpful.
Yeah, a lot of
And
these prescriptions, you're hopefully you're getting the better compared to the worst that could happen. You know, it's going to help you here, but you might end up with this. You
yeah,
know, and the bad is a lot worse than what you're going through. If that happens, not every time it happens, but it's on there for a reason as a
yeah,
side effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that had happened around my mid 40s. Um, you know, family things, deaths in the
Uh-huh.
family. I mean, there was just so much like physical, mental kind of just like bombardment. And then I decide I'm done with prescriptions. And even though I read and did all my research about going off prescriptions, I still said, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going against doctor's advice, and I cut them out. Well, that was another journey because I don't know if you've looked into anything like that, but it does cause a lot of issues, especially with your brain.
Well,
And
there was one time I was on prescription drugs for my muscle spasms. Because, I'm in a wheelchair, got my neck broken. For muscle spasms, help control it. And I was taking 20 milligrams 3 times a day, 60 milligrams. After about 5 years of taking it, I said, well, I'm still having spasms. They're not helping. So I doubled everything. Thought,
mhm,
okay. So I doubled it without talking to my doctor. I don't know, 2 or 3 months of it, I doubled it now from 60 to 120 and milligrams, and I'm still having spasms. So then all of a sudden I said, well, why the hell am I taking this and paying this money for this medicine? And I'm still having spasms. So again, without my doctor's talking to him, I quit cold turkey. Oh yes, 18 hours, 4 days of not sleeping. Can't figure out what's going on here. Fifth night I slept 18 hours, but I've been off of them ever since. Now, please, anybody listening, consult your physicians. Don't listen to my stupid advice because I should have talked to mine. But I was young and smart, okay, but not knowing. But yeah, please consult to your physician. But oh yeah, a lot of when you quit that cold turkey, that your body's wanting that medicine now that you've gotten built up, a lot of cravings, yeah, things can happen.
yeah. So between all of the different things, and you know, my mind wasn't right. It really wasn't. It caused a lot of issues at home. Um, my emotions were up and down, and I got really angry about a lot of things. And um, then I got through all of that, right? Out on the other side. But that, like, I had spent quite some time in bed, like sick in bed, barely able to take care of myself, very weak physically, mentally, all of it. And then I got this really bad toothache, right? And I'm not taking any kind of over the counter, nothing, right? But I need something for my pain. And I go to the doctor and he gives me this very strong stuff that you put on your gums. Like you're literally only supposed to take a tiny little bit and rub it on that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Me being tired from not getting any sleep from a toothache and already still kind of weak and coming out of this other stuff, I'm half asleep. I grab the bottle of stuff. I can't find, I'm like, oh man, I didn't grab a Q-tip. I barely made it over here to get the stuff. I can just squeeze a little bit in my mouth and rub it. And no, that's not what happened. I squeezed a lot in my mouth, like way too much. I don't even know, like a big glop compared to a tiny little thing that you're supposed to put in. And when I realized what I did, I'm like, oh crap. And I start spitting it out and rinsing my mouth and everything. And, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired. Maybe the tooth pain will stay away and I can actually get some sleep. And the feeling that I had when I laid down was very different than any other feeling other than when I went to the hospital for anesthesia, right? That was a similar feeling, that it was very peaceful, calm, and I could drift away into sleep. But the part of me that said, that knew what I just did and the possibilities of, something bad happening, kind of took me out of that comfort for a moment. And I was like, well, I've been through so much in my life, and especially the last, year.
Mm-hmm.
What if I just close my eyes and see what happens, right?
Yep.
And I actually considered letting myself find that out, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure if I would have passed away, but I don't know that I wouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
All I was looking for was rest. So after contemplating for probably not as long as it felt, right? In certain situations, sometimes it seems like you have a lot of time, but it's really not a lot of time that's passed by. I decided, after kind of talking to myself, and I do talk to myself quite often.
They say it's okay to talk to yourself. It's when you answer yourself's the problem.
Well, you have to answer yourself sometimes.
That's right.
So the
and
conversation.
Sometimes you have to ignore that answer.
Yeah. So the conversation was kind of like, like I said, oh, life's been crappy. Mm-hmm. I still have health issues, no answers, no, my family's upset with me. Half my family, I didn't feel like they even cared in the first place. All of these different emotions going on. This could be my ticket to relief. But then my inner bitch came out.
Oh, you can say it on this thing. She said, bitch, okay. People.
Yeah, my inner
you can say it.
Freaking bitch said, what the hell? We have freaking went through so much already. We've had our ass beat literally so many times, and we're going to go down like this.
Yeah,
we don't do drugs. I've never done, any harsh drugs or anything. I wasn't an alcoholic. I'm not saying I never used to drink, but I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I've seen people pass from harsh things, and I'm just like, this is not how I'm going down. This is not, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Whether these people around me care I'm here or not, I care, because I've seen the beauty in life, so many times, and I had to share
Yeah.
and help others. Like, even through all of the crap, there's still beauty.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my lines I use. Sometimes we have to walk through the fertilizer to smell the rose. Okay. And it could be a long walk in that fertilizer before you get to that rose. But
Yeah,
sometimes we got to go through it. So, well, I'm definitely
absolutely.
glad that the dog in you started to fight back, because if nothing else, you want to live long enough to piss off the other people that don't care for you. Okay. If
I'm
nothing
not
else, makes
into
them,
revenge. They can,
well, I didn't say revenge, but you stay long enough that they're pissed going, damn, she's still here. So
well,
no,
maybe. I
I'm
don't
glad.
know.
No, I'm glad that happened. Yeah, that would be me. We're going to die. I know that. But
Yeah.
until hopefully naturally I die, okay. Hopefully I'm hanging in long enough that people that can't stand me, they're going, shit, he's still here. That's what I hope that they that that I'm in their mind that much. You know, that's what I'm for. So
Well, I guess I appreciate that, but I really don't think about other people as much, you know?
no, I don't either. I got enough to worry about myself than other people,
Yeah,
to
I
keep
had to
myself
care
straight.
about myself first. I had to
Well,
love
and you
my,
got those kids, you got those babies, because I know they're grown, but they're still your babies. You got them, you got to,
yeah.
help still guide along. And you're a grandmother. They getting old enough that they had children.
No, no, my grandkids are young. My
Oh,
oldest
well, so
grand,
you do have grandkids. So
yeah, I
yeah, you got to
do.
hang in there for the grandbabies, uh, your other
Well,
four. So yeah, yeah,
well, it's funny that you say that, right? Because like I said, I struggled most of my life, right? And there's many a times that I ask myself why I keep going. And at the time, many of times it was because I had children. And while I think that's a great reason, right, to want to be alive, but
hmm
ultimately it came down that I had to be alive for myself first.
that's the main
Like,
thing. Because if you're not alive, not healthy enough, you're not gonna help anybody else. I
yeah,
mean, you're so weak and down. Of course, death, you can't help anybody. But yeah, but you got to be able to be strong for yourself. Then you can reach out to do for others.
yeah, I wanted my children and others to take that time for themselves because I didn't. I didn't take time. I didn't pour into myself. Like they say, you can't pour into, pour from an empty cup. You have to put your own mask on first, like they describe
Yeah.
in
Yep. In
the
a
plane.
in an airplane. Yeah.
And I didn't
Yeah.
do that. So in the past, I kept going because other people, my children, and other people were relying on me for things, right? To
hmm
be there. But I had to want to be here because I relied on me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's an even better reason to be here than just because you have children or other
Well, that's the
people
best
relying on
reason.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best reason. Again, you've got to be able to love yourself enough to want to hang in. That way you can help your children, their grandbabies, and anybody else that may be going through something in the future. So um, I've had two other podcasts years ago, and these two women were both suicidal at that time. Not during the podcast, earlier in life, and both of them said the reason they didn't do it is they couldn't leave their 1-year-old and 4-year-old, and the other one, however, could leave their babies behind, and were feeling guilty that they would have grown up without their mother. Again, from that, but yeah, you're definitely right that you got to be able to want to live for yourself before you can live for others.
Yeah. That's what I took from it. Like I said, I mean, not that I ever tried to attempt suicide or anything. I don't believe in suicide, but I'll tell you, it's hard to keep going sometimes when you're faced with so many different things, coming at you from every direction. And sometimes you feel like life is like oh, this is my life. I just keep getting punched in the gut, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily literally every time, but, you know, it feels like you're getting kicked left and right
Oh yeah.
from life. And you're like, maybe I should just stay down, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's where I was at one point. Maybe I should just stay down. Maybe I've done enough. My kids, are good. Like, they have a dad, they have their siblings, you know,
Yeah.
but ultimately that inner bitch of me said, no, we're not freaking going down like
That's
this.
right. Hey,
Not,
my mom's
yeah,
still 85. She's 85 now, but she's got dementia, so she's not the mom and everything, but she's still mom. And we're glad she's hanging around. But I promise you, I swear to you, I don't want to be 85 to be like it. I'd rather be dead. Um, it's just cruel for people to go through Alzheimer's and dementia the way it is. I'd rather die at 79 than be like that at 85. So
yeah, that's difficult. I can't say what
I've
my answer would be
moved her in
that.
with me now because she can't do, yeah, can't live on her own now. So, but
Yeah,
it's, but moms are mom. That's what I'm getting to. You're still hanging around because you're mom, and all your kids looking up to you. Those good grandbabies looking up. And again, whether you believe it or know it or not, somebody in your community, your surrounding, they're drawing strength off of you because you've been so strong, what you've been through, and they're hoping they can get through something like you did, like you
yeah,
got through. And so there's people watching. Whether I was in college, and one of the presidents one time told me, he says, whether you know it or not, people are watching you. And he was talking about me being in a wheelchair and how I do things. People are watching you and getting, your strength from you to see that you can do it, they can do it. So it's definitely the same thing with you.
yeah. I would definitely say that. Like, I got a lot of my inspiration from people with different abilities. I don't like to call it disabilities, different
Mm-hmm.
abilities.
Uh-huh.
Um, because, you know, I grew up, so my mom, she worked at this place for handicapped people, right? Different
Mm-hmm.
ability people. And we got to go to work with her. And she picked them up from their home, wherever they lived, and took them to either work or school, same building. And my sister and I got to hang out sometimes and learn about everything. And I got to know a lot of these people and see the things that they could do. And I read a lot of books about people with, like Helen Keller. Now,
Helen Keller.
if you
Yes.
if you haven't read her story, like, I'm kicking myself half the time because I'm like, look at some of these things that people with less physical and, like, attributes than myself, like, some of them couldn't see, come up, some of them couldn't walk, this, that, whatever it be. I'm fully functional and I have excuses, right? I'm like, it's people like yourself and others that keep me going.
One of Helen Keller's quotes I like is, now I'm sure I don't have it exactly correct, so paraphrasing, that the only thing worse than being blind is being able to see but have no vision.
Yeah.
So, being able to see, but you have no clue what you're going to do with your life, no purpose, you know. And the good thing about you associating, hanging around with these children when you were
Well, they
with
were
mom,
adults. I was a
well,
child.
adults, but uh, is because the way they are, um, they're so innocent and they just living the life to the fullest, no care in the world, don't have to worry about paying bills and when the next meal is coming, but they can sure show you the simple way of living lives.
Yeah. I definitely learned a lot
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
and I
So,
loved it too. Like, you know, I'm they were family to me after several years, you
There
know.
you go.
So,
You
and
can sing that song, Sister Sledge, back in the 70s. We are family.
yeah, there you go. One of my favorites.
Yeah. So, all right, Pansy, we're getting close to our time, but yeah, the biggest thing is again, live for yourself, and then you can live to help others. And my other thing is, and I'm not the greatest at this, but I'm a lot better than most people. Is don't again, what's the old saying is about don't sweat over the small stuff. Don't sweat over the stuff you have no control over. You know, if you can have
Yeah.
no control, I mean, I can't dictate the sun or the rain, so I can't get mad whatever it does, whatever, because I can't stop and control it. So that's my big thing when I tell people is if you can control something, do your best to straighten it out and move on. If you have no control, nothing you can do about it, just do the best you can. Just roll
Yeah.
with the punch.
Yeah. I agree. You don't have always control over certain situations, but you always have control of how you choose to
React to it.
react to
Yeah,
the
react,
situation.
respond, yeah, to it and everything like that. So, all right, now, Pansy, I told you I was going to ask this. Told you not to answer me until we're on here, but have you written a book? Have you started about writing a book? Have you thought about it? Have you been writing one page and then you said, I'll come back in 4 years, write a second page? Have you done anything with a book?
I have not. I mean, I've thought about it
You
when I was younger, but I I don't know. I don't know if my story is even that exciting.
I'm much older than you. You said you're 50. That she's lying. She's
No,
really,
I'm
no.
50.
But I'm 61, and this week I'm going to finish another book, and it'll be like my 13th or 14th
Nice.
book. So your story, yes, is worthy enough, especially again with the epidemic going on with prescription drug overdose. Again, John Bentley, we mentioned when he met him, with the speaker contest. And John, showing your book, buddy, you are a gift. And John has a foundation that he wants to help single mothers get off prescription drugs. And he started it because his daughter had overdosed on prescription drugs. And so he started the organization, the foundation, to help get other mothers off prescription drugs.
That's
So
amazing.
if anybody can reach out and want to donate, just Google You Are a Gift, Google John Bentley, get a hold of me. I'll send you stuff to him if you want to donate to his organization. So, all right. Pansy, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to write a book. I tell everybody should write a book. I wish I'd have got my grandparents to write a book because that was a long time ago before I even thought about writing a book. But I believe everybody should write a book. If nothing else, Pansy, when your great grandchildren, and you may not be around, but you might be, they'll have a better understanding of what you are like. And then they're going to go, what? I had the same attitude. I had this same nose. What? I had this same dog bitch fight in me from her. And so they can read and understand, if nothing else, for your family. But again, I think it's worthy enough that other people are going to get it and read it.
I'll think about it
So,
there.
well, getting books published are easy today. You do the old self-publishing.
Yeah,
Doesn't cost you anything to get it published. If you want copies, you got to buy your copies. They give you an author's price, cheaper than what the book would go for to do. But to get it published, put together, published, and put it out there in the market didn't cost you anything today. And if you need help, I can show you how to do it.
I will definitely. You will be one of the first people I reach out to when I decide.
My first book took me 12 years to write. I'd write 3 chapters, and then I put it away for 4 years. And then maybe I come back and write half a page, and I put it up again for 6 months, then come back and write another chapter. And I tell people, how we upgrade our computers? I said, if I would have lost my manuscript in that 12 years of upgrading my computer. If I'd have lost it, I'd have never started over. So it was a miracle by God to keep up with that book, that manuscript, for me to be able to get it out.
It's awesome.
So, all right, what do you want to leave us with? What you got to? What else you got to tell us? Oh, go ahead and tell everybody. You got a podcast.
I do.
That you do. Tell us about your podcast, and then go ahead and tell us about any social media, how people may want to get a hold of you, how they can.
Yeah. So my name is Pansy Sleep across all social media platforms. I have a YouTube of my own, but I also have a podcast YouTube channel with my business partner, Justin Kramer. It's called Friends with Benefits.
There you go.
It's about
now
business.
We're talking.
It's more about business relationships and friendships built along the way, getting into the business side of things. We're on like our 19th, 20th episode now. It's Fridays, usually around 8 p.m. Central Time. Sometimes we switch it up to accommodate some guests, but usually it's on Fridays evenings, anywhere between like 4 to 6 o'clock PST. So that's like 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. I think that's it. Huh? No?
Pansy Sleep. Again, Google Pansy Sleep. We all sleep. SLEEP.
And I should be the only one.
Huh?
I should be the only Pansy Sleep.
There you go.
And
then
planet.
You can find that into Google, and then you can reach out and get a hold of her and have her on your podcast. Have her come. She's getting into her speaking business. Have her come speak at your club, organization. Get her on stage. Get her message out there. So
I appreciate you.
Oh, don't worry. My bill will be in the mail to you. So, no, I don't. I didn't say that, people. I didn't say that. I don't know how that happened. But yep, you've got a message. You need to get it out there and take advantage of Amber. I'm telling you, she said it's going to be her mission. Have her work on that mission. So, all right. Let me see. Other than that, you've done awesome. You've been great at this, and I appreciate you taking the time to share with us. Now, Pansy, we know there's people hurting and struggling. If you can leave us with a powerful message to help people get through today, that'd be a blessing.
So how about this? We're not here to just survive. We are here to thrive.
Okay, keep going. All right.
I don't have much more.
That's cool. That's good. We're not here to just survive. We do want to thrive because we want to see what the world has to offer. Yeah. And we got to be able to handle our part of the world to be able to experience bigger parts of the world.
Absolutely. So life is really more beautiful when you choose to see it that way. We can choose to see everything that isn't working out and the ugliness of people or whatever, or we can choose to see the beautiful things in life. And the reason I said thrive instead of survive is that's what I said to myself when I was laying there and the bitch came over me, and I'm like, I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And that's what I want for everyone else.
There we go. Now I got your message right there at the end. All right. Took me a second to pull it from you, but you did it great there. And we can go in there and splice and cut this other stuff up and get it all together and crunch it up front. So you're amazing, and I appreciate you. I'm sorry you've been through so much in life, and I've said this, other people have said this.
But it brought me here.
Exactly. It's made you who you are, made you a stronger person, and it's made you wanting to help other people so they don't have to experience what you've experienced.
Absolutely.
So, last thing, Pansy, write a book. All right, everybody else.
Sir.
There you go. Everybody else, hey, thank you for coming in. Share this to someone that can use. This is a powerful message today. So pass it on to someone else experience. I'm Dr. James Perdue, the professor of perseverance. Do something today, tomorrow, something next week that's going to help you persevere past your paralysis.